act of kindness becomes a symbol of human compassion that was the winning weapon in the first battle of the Cold War. Now that should be a movie. Hello, and thank you for watching today's episode of That Should Be a Movie. I'm C.W. Johnson Jr. Today's book I'd like to pitch as a movie is The Candy Bombers, The Untold Story of the Berlin Airlift in America's Finest Hour by Andrei Cherny from Putnam. The Berlin Airlift is an untold story of heroism and compassion that should make every American proud. In 1948, the communist dictator Joseph Stalin closed off the roads, canals, and railways of West Berlin, a zone controlled by the Western Allies, England, France, and America, 100 miles behind Soviet lines. Stalin hoped to starve the West Berliners into submission. The Allies were outnumbered by the Soviet forces 62-1, so they couldn't risk war, but they couldn't lose face by backing down. So they chose the higher road of flying milk, food, and coal into West Berlin with Operation Vittles via the sky bridges. This act of compassion would require 1,300 flights every 24 hours. American airmen would make extreme sacrifices as they flew long hours in dangerous weather. 79 Allied airmen and German civilians would lose their lives. 4.6 billion tons would be delivered. The Berliners would choose freedom over Russian rations, and in the end, the Soviets backed down, allowing West Berlin to remain free and open. It was the first battle of the Cold War. The logistics of the airlift, the diplomatic intrigue, the resilience and determination of the West Berlin people, such as Jeanette Wolff, who, after spending 6 years in Nazi prisons, still declared she had only one life to lose, and it belonged to freedom, deserves a major motion picture or miniseries. However, due to the holiday season, I'd like to focus on one particular hero, the Candy Bomber. One day, a pilot named Gail Haverson noticed the Berlin children who were watching the planes unload at Tempelhof, the American base in West Berlin, and began a conversation with them through the barbed wire fence. He soon found out that they desired freedom more than food, the opportunity to pursue their dreams. He started to walk away, but decided to offer them the 2 sticks of gum he had, even though they had not asked for them. He broke the sticks in 4 and handed them to the children. Then Haverson watched in awe as the children broke them into smaller pieces, sharing them with the other children. Some kids even held up the wrapping paper to smell the sugar. Overcome, he said he would be back in more, and he would drop it from his plane. The children asked how they would know which plane was his. He said he would wiggle his wings. Back at his home base in Western Germany, he used his ration card to buy as much candy and chocolate as possible. He asked his crew to chip in, which they did, and devised miniature parachutes to drop the candy safely. Soon more children began showing up at the fence, and the rest of the pilots started talking about their strange behavior. Mail began showing up at the base, addressed to the chocolate flyer and Uncle Wiggly Wings. So Haverson and his crew decided to stop the candy drops. But after 2 weeks, the crowds of children were still growing and gathering, so they dropped one more time. The next day, Haverson was called into his commander's office, who said that General William H. Tunner wanted to see him. Haverson nervously went to the general's office, where he was informed the reporter was almost hit by a candy bar. Instead of being outraged, General Tunner realized the psychological victory of Haverson's act. Haverson soon found himself in a news conference, reporters asking him what his operation was called. Operation Little Vittles, he replied. Soon the American people were hosting candy drives to provide him with supplies. They quickly raised 368 pounds of candy and 50 pounds of handkerchiefs. School children with headquarters at Chicopee, Massachusetts, organized, collected, sorted, and prepared 36,000 pounds of candy attached to 100,000 parachutes. American businessmen, many of them candy companies, and individuals donated over 20 tons of candy. So much candy was donated that Haverson had a special Christmas Day drop. Halverson received special permission to fly off course to drop candy at schools, hospitals, and soccer fields. He could also carry extra weight. Then he got to take a furlough to New York to appear on the TV show We the People, but soon returned to Germany after experiencing culture shock and American prosperity. He became a new kind of American hero, a warrior of compassion who just wanted to return home and marry his girl. A special Gail Halverson Day was held, staged for the cameras, but the emotion was real. The implications of Halverson's actions in the Berlin Airlift were far-reaching. Americans no longer viewed all Germans as Nazis, and Germans felt forgiven and accepted back into the world after the horror of World War II. The sound of airplane engines that once meant bombs, destruction, and fear now brought hope. German children were no longer terrified of fire, uniforms, or weapons. One doctor noting that they no longer played the game of rape at Airlift. A little girl who had clutched a teddy bear for comfort during American bombing raids gave the bear to Halverson in hopes it would keep him safe. Americans from the Common Era to General Lucius D. Clay's wife gave Germans aid in everything from food to shoes. On Easter Day, 1949, as many planes as possible delivered as much food as they could in a gigantic Easter parade via the sky bridges. One of the children that caught Halverson's parachutes would be the first president of a reunified Germany. After the Berlin Wall fell and the Soviet Union collapsed, Berliners offered up their stored food to starving Russians. Then, after 9/11, Berliners marched in solidarity for the country that saved them. It is an inspiring story of compassion and forgiveness that our country desperately needs to hear right now. Because of its inspiring message of freedom, forgiveness, and compassion, I believe that The Candy Bombers by Andrei Cherny should be an epic holiday season release. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and share with all your friends. And let me know in the comment section what book about the triumph of human compassion you think should be a movie.